Hey guys, hope you're having a great day today. My name is Daniel, and I'm the High Mileage Helper. On this channel, my goal is to be able to help you learn more about the RV transporting industry, as well as give how-to videos for your truck, and then give recommendations along the way. In this video, we're going to be talking about how much do you get paid being a transporter, and that'll be coming right up. So first off, we have to talk about how does the company that you're looking to get hired onto decide how much do we get paid as driver. Now, when we ask that question, that sounds a little funny. Why would they decide? Why would different companies decide different things? Well, the situation is some companies decide to pay by the region of country you're delivering in. So, for instance, maybe you've already heard this, loads going to the south are worth less money. So some companies give you less money going south because they think that it is less expensive for diesel to travel south. And then in other regions, going west or going east, you get paid more going those because they say that the cost of fuel is more expensive going those directions, and so therefore you're going to be paid a little bit more for the fuel, surcharge type of thing. So some companies do it like that. I've also heard of other companies paying you by the foot. So you would get paid a certain amount of mileage, a certain dollar amount for a 30-foot trailer compared to a 40-foot trailer. Each foot or ranges of feet would be in a certain category for this, $1.21, $1.50, whatever that may be, in order for you to be paid by the miles. And so that's the first thing. Depending on who your company is that you're looking to get hired onto, or maybe switch to another company, they pay differently. That's right out of the gate. That's just how it is. And so that's the first thing. The second thing is going to be whether it's a CDL load or if it's a non-CDL load. Some companies divide it up by CDL-A, over 26,000 pounds for your total GVWR, or non-CDL, so CDL-B or lower, and where you're only able to pull up to 26,000 pounds. And so some companies do that. Some companies pay more per mile. I would assume most do. I'm trying to be as vague as I can to give you an overall framework of the industry, but I believe most companies that do it that way, they pay more for the CDL loads. Another thing that causes a difference in pay is depending on, is it the peak season or is it a slow season? During the peak season, they take on a certain number of trailers, and so they have to get them out and delivered on time, or else they're in hot water with the manufacturer and with potentially the dealerships. And so they have to get these out. And so guess what happens when they have more loads than they have drivers? They get desperate. And so just like with possibly getting hired on, they hire on more people when they're more desperate, and maybe they lower their standards some for requirements for getting in. They also do the same thing. They get more desperate with the loads, and so they say, hey, we will pay more per mile as an incentive to give you so that we get all of these trailers delivered. If the money's talking, then people are going to be coming running. That's just how it is. I'm just going to give you the range that I have experienced with different pay since I started. When I first started, the least amount of money I've ever made per mile on a regular load was $1.12. When I first started out, that was, besides it already being pretty rough to begin with, because you're only getting paid loaded miles, $1.12 when I didn't have a fuel tank, when I didn't have all these other things and know what I was really doing, have a good handle on the job, that was extremely rough. That was very tough to get through. Shortly then rose from there, from $1.12 to I think $1.15 was the minimum. But $1.12 is the least I've ever been paid per mile. That was 4 years ago. The most I've ever been paid with a load that was going to the east. So my company, Synergy, pays more going to the east and the west than the south. So it was already going to be 10 cents, or no, it was going to be $1.28 a mile. And it was considered a CDL load, but it was under the 26,000 pounds for my truck, for my total weight. And so it was a higher paying load to begin with, going at a higher pay rate direction, and it was a hot load. Hot or old loads, you'll find out, depending on how your company words it, is when it's really when they pay more per mile. They're desperate. It means they have to get out quicker. These ones have a deadline, and that deadline is quickly approaching, and so they say, yeah, we still have quite a bit of trailers, so we've really got to get these last 10 going to this dealership over here. We've got 4 or 5 days to do it. We've got to get all these drivers, so we'll bump up the pay 5, 10, 15 cents. Well, at the end of the day, I took this load to, I believe it was Maine or New Hampshire, one of the two. So that's at least 900,000-ish miles, and I got paid $1.81. No, $1.83. It was $1.83 a mile. So you can kind of tell, $1.12, $1.15. $1.15 is the minimum right now for Synergy during this video, but the highest I've ever been paid was $1.83. And so there's quite a bit of a difference with that, because there's just so many factors. When in one of my previous videos where I talk about how much money can you make doing this job, and this is one of the things that there's such a wide spectrum of possibilities, of variables. Do you only want to go in the south? Well, you're going to be making less money. Do you want to go east? You'll be making more money. It's really just up to you. I got to tell you, the line of the fuel is cheaper down in the south. I would say 8 to 9 months out of the year, or if not more, it is not cheaper going south. There's a few places in the country that I like to go to because it is significantly cheaper when I'm in that area, and so I always hit those places, fill up all the way. Most of the time those places are in the south or in the middle of the country, but the range of how much you can actually make is just so wide in this industry. And so really when there's a lot of loads, when there's hot loads, there's old loads that have the pay bumped up, man, that's really your time to shine, for you to be able to fill up in a place that's somewhat cheaper. Maybe you live in the south, maybe that's where you're actually at, and for you to fill up your main tank, your auxiliary tank, all the way at a lower price, and then go east, go up to Goshen, pick up your load, go east, get paid more per mile because it's that direct, it's east, it's higher pay zone of the country, and it's a hotter old load. That's a huge increase. So how much you can make in this industry, how much you can make per mile, some of it's up to you, some of it's not. But there definitely are times where you really want to hit it good. when they are willing to say, hey, let's do this, let's do it right, let's get all these trailers out, get it there on time, and you just say, yes sir, I am on the board for that. So anyways, hope this was a help to you to kind of give you a framework of how pay works across the industry. Again, I kind of gave you a picture of what Synergy does. We have different zones of the country. We don't do pay per foot. Other companies are different. Maybe I'm missing something because other companies do it a different way. If you are a driver for one of those other companies that does it differently, please down in the comments let us all know what your company does, how you've been able to learn from that, how you've been able to capitalize on those rules, those ways that they do it. And hopefully this was a help to you. Let me know in the comments if it was. And again, just consider subscribing, liking, if this was actually help to you. And until next time, stay safe, God bless, and we'll catch you later.